the unbelievable history of San Marino, the world's oldest republic. Imagine a tiny country so old that it has outlasted empires, wars, and revolutions, yet it has never been conquered. This is San Marino. Founded in AD 301, this microstate in the heart of Italy holds the title of the world's oldest continuous sovereign republic. It has survived over 1,700 years of history. While the Roman Empire crumbled, the Middle Ages raged, and modern nations rose and fell. How did this tiny nation, no bigger than a small town, manage to outlast giants? Stay with me as we dive into one of the most incredible survival stories in history. Our story begins with a stonemason named Marinus, a Christian fleeing religious persecution under Roman Emperor Diocletian. Marinus sought refuge on Mount Titano, where he built a small community of like-minded believers. As Rome fell into chaos, this settlement grew into a self-governing republic, one that still exists today. This was the birth of San Marino. While Europe descended into the Dark Ages, this tiny republic stood firm, guided by a unique system of governance that granted its citizens unheard-of levels of freedom. By the Middle Ages, San Marino had fortified itself, quite literally. The famous 3 towers of San Marino were built to protect the republic from invaders. Neighboring rulers saw San Marino as an easy target, but every time they tried to conquer it, they failed. The people of San Marino, though few, were fiercely independent. One of their most impressive victories came in the 15th century, when they resisted the powerful Malatesta family from Rimini. Despite their small numbers, they fought off invasion and solidified their reputation as an unbreakable stronghold. Fast forward to the age of Napoleon, when most of Europe was being redrawn by war. You'd think San Marino would be swallowed up like so many other small states. But instead, Napoleon respected their independence. In 1797, he even offered to expand their territory, but San Marino declined. They preferred to remain small and self-sufficient. Imagine that, while empires were being carved up, San Marino stayed exactly as it was. During Italy's unification in the 19th century, Giuseppe Garibaldi, the legendary Italian revolutionary, found refuge in San Marino. San Marino protected him and his men from capture, reinforcing its image as a guardian of liberty. As a thank you, when Italy unified, it chose to leave San Marino alone. An incredible moment in history where diplomacy, rather than war, secured a nation's survival. San Marino stayed neutral during both World Wars. In World War I, it even sent a small group of volunteers to help with the wounded. But in World War II, things got tense. In 1944, the British mistakenly thought the Nazis were hiding in San Marino and bombed the country. Despite the destruction, San Marino remained neutral and even sheltered over 100,000 refugees, almost 4 times its population at the time. San Marino has continued to make history in modern times. It was one of the first countries to adopt a democratic constitution, dating back to 1600. It was the first country in the world to elect a female head of state in 1981. It joined the United Nations in 1992, proving that even the smallest nations can have a voice on the world stage. Today, San Marino is a thriving republic, famous for its medieval architecture, low taxes, and a political system that has remained unchanged for centuries. San Marino is living proof that small doesn't mean weak. It has survived invasions, empires, and world wars, not by fighting larger enemies but through diplomacy, resilience, and a commitment to freedom. If a tiny republic on a mountaintop can outlast history itself, imagine what you can do when you stand by your principles. If you love stories about borders, nations, and the fascinating histories of places most people overlook, make sure to check out Borders and Beyond. We dive deep into the hidden histories, forgotten borders, and incredible survival stories that shape our world today. So hit that like button, subscribe, and join us as we explore the most fascinating places on Earth. And remember, sometimes the smallest places have the biggest stories. See you in the next adventure. End scene, fade to black.